22.2 in the books.
Yeah.
And we could RX again.
I know we did. Yes. That was fun. I don't know about next week. I'm already scared for next week, but
probably double unders for sure, right?
yeah, and probably a whole bunch of stuff.
Like,
Don't you think?
yeah.
Like a giant chipper.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do they mean when they say a chipper? I know what I think it means. But...
yeah, that's when it's like one thing after the other and you just go through it once.
Oh, I like
but
those.
Like a bunch of each.
Yeah, I'm going to guess there's got to be some bar work in there, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
A thruster?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least.
Totally.
Some thrusters?
Yeah.
Double unders.
Yeah.
Got the burpees out of the way, though.
I know. All right. Should we talk about 20?
Yeah, I can't wait to hear how it went for you. I did not even sneak a peek this time.
Yeah. So it actually went a lot better than I thought because I really didn't have any idea. Like I knew 155 would feel heavy.
I also didn't have like a goal because I kind of was just like, oh.
I had a goal. I wanted to get halfway through the 7th round. I was like, okay, 50 reps. I thought sounded like a good goal. And
I didn't even think about it that way.
And I was like, but I was that said, I was like worried I would only get about 5 rounds in.
Okay.
But what happened, I actually got into the 9th round. I got 74 reps.
So awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I just did singles the whole time with the deadlifts. I would drop it every single time.
I can't touch and go those.
Yeah. I don't know. I just kind of went slow and steady. Like I literally didn't stop at all until towards like, I don't know, maybe with like 3 minutes left or something. I was like, this is kind of bothering me that I guess my clip wasn't that tight and one of my plates was, I'm like, I'm going to take a rest and just kind of adjust that. Besides that, I was like, just kind of like slow and steady going through them.
Nice.
And the deadlift started to hurt after a while, like just really towards the end. I was like, the last 2 were not very good.
I saw a hilarious meme that I'm going to share on our social media about, and it's all different faces of David Rose from Schitt's Creek.
Yes.
You know how he can make those like,
yeah.
And then, and the capture is like, or the caption is, my face when I see people's form at the end of 22.2, like at the end of those deadlift reps when people are just like, I gotta get it up.
Yeah. It's
quite silly. Although I didn't see anybody, at least I only went to my 9 o'clock class. So I didn't see any like terrible form. I didn't see anybody blow up.
Yeah.
I'm sure it happened somewhere, but
the
imagination,
Yeah. My back is sore today though. My lower back.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. 155 is not light.
Mm-mm.
Yay. So you got into the 9th round.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I got through, I did all through the 7th. So I stopped, right? It was like 1 second. And I was like, I'm not even going to try to do deadlift.
How do you feel? Did you have to rest in between the deadlifts? Because I remember you had to with 165, right?
155.
So I've never. You were practicing the same weight.
Yeah, so I've never. Well, okay, I can sumo deadlift a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not a lot more, but in my other workout, I for 6 weeks have been doing 4 sets of 8 sumo deadlifts. And the last time I had that, and I did 185s, like, so I did for 32 reps, but that's a sumo stance, right? There's a little bit shorter way to go. And your good memory, when I first did 155 with a regular deadlift, it was in January and it was a stretch, but I did it in a workout. Kind of like a pretend Friday Night Lights type workout. And I needed 20 to 30 seconds in between each rep.
Yeah.
So I knew I'm still like, it's so interesting. I mean, not like smiling because like this is happy, interesting. It's just more interesting of, I've gone through grief before and I've had these similar, exhaustion or like needing to just check out and play dumb games on my phone or whatever. But I've never been able to like quantify how I feel. And now because I'd been so consistent at the gym,
right.
I can like, I'm pretty confident I'm 65 to 70%
Wow.
of how I would normally be.
Yeah.
And so knowing that going in and knowing that if I pushed myself really hard, I'd probably start crying. Just right. I'm still in that fragile state. And so Karen was my judge and she knows about Finn and she lost a dog who was 19 years old.
Wow.
I know. And very similar, at the end stages of life, it's all about the dog and you can't go away because you gotta just, and that mixed emotion with it. So I felt like safe in that zone, if I started crying because it just hit me or whatever. And I told her I would like to do a deadlift every 10 seconds. So when I drop the bar, if you can tell me when it's 10 seconds, because I know I probably could go faster at the beginning, but I don't know how that's going to then, make things change towards the end of the 10 minutes. And I just want to be super, super steady. And so that's like 50 some reps, 56 reps or something. And I did my show pony burpees where I just like flop on the ground and then do a huge step forward and then just like pony jump over instead of 2 feet over the bar.
Yeah.
Because we almost always just practice 2 feet off the ground.
I know.
Which is heart spike.
Yeah.
Whew. So it was really like awesome to hear like, guess what? You can do the show pony over.
Yeah.
So I told her I just want to be so super consistent. And, when I mentioned this to my coach, Victoria, she had talked about your nervous system needing to kind of reset. And that was why, like at the beginning of trying to lift 155, I needed 20 to 30 seconds because it's like my body just needed to like be able to recalibrate and be like, okay, here I am again. I don't know if that's different because I'm older or what, but the 10 seconds, I mean, I probably could have gone for 5 more minutes at my pace.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Because when I did the math on like 56 reps over, 600 seconds or whatever, it averages about 10 seconds per rep of everything. So at some point I must have I know I took 20 seconds in the 6th round. I did 4 deadlifts and then I was like, I need 20. And then I went right back to 10s. So I felt good and strong. And I mean, I didn't know what to expect either. Like what a goal should have been.
Yeah.
I had no clue. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to finish. And I for sure didn't think I was going to be going back down the ladder.
Oh, I know. I knew I wasn't going to get up the ladder.
Like, won't be going that far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my like goal. And I felt like I just kind of stuck with it. And I didn't have any times where I like missed a deadlift. And I've had that before with this weight.
Yeah.
And the reason I did the 10 seconds also is a couple of weeks ago when we had a workout that had 155 deadlifts, I was able to do 3 in whatever time limit we had. But as that 15-minute EMOM went on, I missed one. And then so I went down to 2. So I kind of knew like, I just have to give myself a buffer at the beginning so I can keep doing it at the end.
Yeah.
It was so fun though.
Yeah, it was fun.
Is it because are we like type A that we just love like challenges?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I guess part of the fun was like during it, realizing like, I'm going to crush that. First of all, I'm definitely doing the 5 rounds. And then there was a point where I was like, I'm into the 7th round and like, I still have couple
Like, look at
minutes
the
left.
clock.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I was like, I started smiling at that point. Maybe there were like 3
Oh,
minutes left. I was like, I made my goal.
oh,
And
I
this is
love
like
it.
everything else is just bonus now.
Yeah, for
So that's
sure.
a fun feeling, rather
So
than
fun.
like when your expectations are high and you're just like
Yeah.
not doing it.
Yeah.
So I think it's good that you knew the effect of the grief before and like you didn't have big expectations and you just were like, I'm just gonna not push it to the point where I'm gonna start crying.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess if I was getting paid to be an athlete, maybe I'd have to do that.
Oh, you'd have to, right? I mean, I
Uh,
guess.
there's probably some sort of expectation for people who get paid.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but
Yeah.
there is that little bit of a conflict inside of when you look at your SugarWOD and you're like at the very bottom of the scaled or of the RX. But
It gets easier, I guess, when you get older because you're like, well, I'm expecting to be at the bottom. I'm the oldest. So it's like fun when I'm not,
when
it's
you're
like,
not, I don't
ah.
feel like the
Yeah,
oldest in my head for sure.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you know what? I wouldn't have been able to do this a year ago. I could not
Mhm.
lift 155 like that a year ago.
Me either.
So
Not
that
at all.
I think that's where I have to continue to focus is like not the leaderboard, but the Anne
Yeah,
history.
yeah. I mean, there's always going to be people that are better than us, you know?
For sure. I mean, I hope so because
And
that would
then
mean
the
like,
people that we're better than, it's just like, for the most part, they haven't been doing it as long. That's it.
so I did see somebody finish at 9 minutes and 42 seconds.
You saw someone in your wow, Jim finished it. Holy shit. A guy?
No.
A woman. Wow, she beat the team that was in the demo. I don't remember her name, but did you see
Oh,
the
I didn't watch the
demo at
demo.
all?
No,
Okay.
there was a teen in it. She didn't finish.
Yeah, she didn't finish. She was the fittest teen in the world.
Oh, wow.
She won that.
So, Ashley has gone to the games.
Okay.
And then she was like eligible again. I don't really understand because it seems to have changed. So how you get there. And
Yeah. Does she want to go again? Is she
I
like,
don't know. She has a little guy, a little toddler guy that comes to the gym. He's
oh,
adorable.
mhm.
And he runs around with these like fake weights that are just so cute. And he also really likes to ride around in the mop bucket.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
And he just has like this mop of hair. He's so cute. So she deferred or gave up her spot because she had kind of decided like I want to focus here instead of, I know it's like when I decided to, train a little bit more for a marathon, that's all I did. So
Yeah,
to have a
yeah,
kiddo and
yeah.
so she finished it. And then her sister, who's our coach, Brittany, she got 183.
Wow,
So
that's a lot of
that's
reps.
just shy of,
Yeah, I don't even. Oh, it's
200.
200. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
Wow,
I mean,
that's really good.
watching them, they're just, I mean, I could only see Brittany out of the corner of my eye a little bit because we were at the same time. It's so inspiring to be like, you guys can just touch and go 155. Like,
Mhm. Yeah,
okay,
it's like
that's
wow.
so awesome.
Yeah.
I am going to attend Friday Night Lights. I'm going to get over
Okay.
myself and
Excellent.
I'm just going to
Yeah.
go because
Yeah.
so Karen didn't go. She was going to do her workout on Sunday. So I just got to kind of hang out and cheer everybody on after my round was done. And I really like being the hype man or doing like mat talk or whatever.
Oh wow.
I call it
Yeah.
mat talk, but that
Yeah.
was
From
from the
the
cheer.
cheer.
It's
So,
just so fun, especially if somebody's told you kind of like what their goal is and just to
yeah,
be the person on the side of like cheering them on and
that's cool.
telling them,
Yeah,
I know
there
you
was
don't love
this.
it maybe, but like to
It
be cheered.
depends. It depends too. And yeah, no, I guess I don't like the loud. It's really weird. this week I started thinking, I think I'm on the autism spectrum. No, I'm serious. I was like, I'm not joking in the least.
Here's my response. You have a PhD.
So
You're
probably,
not normal. No. You have a PhD in biochemistry.
yeah. So
Yeah.
probably somewhere.
Yeah.
You're laughing for the opposite reason, like that. You're like,
1000%. No, it's wonderful that you're finally realizing it.
oh my God, this
I'm
is like Nick's reaction too.
Was it really?
In the middle of the night, I was like, I think because I've been reading this book, this book, Autism in Heels, about women with autism. I mean, it's kind of a memoir. It's honestly, it's kind of all over the place as a book.
You're like, where do you fit?
but like some
Wait,
of the
is
stuff
you needing to categorize that part of the autism spectrum
she's
disorder?
I'm not a big categorizer. I don't fall into that, but like a lot of the things she was talking about, I was like, oh my gosh, this explains so much and I relate so
Oh.
much.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I was up in the middle of the night and I didn't wake Nick up, but he woke up or whatever. And then I told him, or I don't remember if I asked him, but right away he was like, yeah, I think you are. Like I realized that very soon after we started going out.
Oh, what an amazing man that he's never said anything.
I know. Yeah, he is amazing. Nick has always thought that he was on the spectrum. I was like, no way. That's ridiculous. And then I looked up some of I looked it up at some point. And I'm like, no, you don't have all this sensitivity of like the way things
Loud
bother
or
me, like loud things or just being overstimulated or having any coping mechanisms. Like you don't need all that. He's like a very stable, I feel like he's so neurologically stable.
Mhm.
And that the only thing I could see that he would do is sometimes like if there's a topic he wants to
perseverate.
talk about, he'll just like talk about it regardless of like whether you have any
No social
interest.
cues.
Yeah, no, so like he's not picking up that you don't want to hear about this.
So what were some of the items that stuck out to you that you were like, oh, that I feel like that?
Well, I mean, all the sort of like, I mean, I knew I was a highly sensitive person.
Do you ever have problems with like clothing, like tags or
Oh, yes. Oh,
sensitivities to like
totally. Yeah.
fabrics?
Clothing, I can't. I mean, I don't understand what people are talking about when they think yoga pants are so comfortable or like sports bras are so comfortable.
Really?
Yeah, I need loose clothing to be yeah, I have to take off my bras and yoga pants or whatever after. Like I can wear them for a few hours, a couple
Mm-hmm.
hours, but I wouldn't ever choose to wear them for
Okay. It's so
like being alone
constricting.
in the home. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely have clothing discomfort. And where it sort of started to like, I don't know, the impulsivity, like I had a problem with my writing group this week and I got angry at so we were gonna have there's this event, this reading event, and she switched my bio around, the women in my group.
Oh.
And I was kind of like, I just kind of impulsively was like, replied or something. Why did you change my bio? I liked it the way it was or something. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
and then I sent another one, like, it just made more sense to have my books right after saying I'm a health coach and author
Mm-hmm.
of whatever. And she switched that with something else. And so
Why?
well, that's what I asked, right? But she did not answer me.
I mean, I've only been in certain circumstances. Whenever I've had to provide a bio, it's me writing the bio and they just like,
I know, I had no idea
no
she
one
was
ever
gonna
edits
edit
it.
it. Yeah. But then I felt
That's
like a
really
jerk.
controlling.
I could have done a better job at I mean, I just thought like, oh, when you send something from an iPhone, it can be really direct and whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
I should have used like softening words, like
Mm-hmm.
please or, like, hey, thank you for putting this
Well,
together,
so
like And so I'm like, okay,
I mean,
I
I
have a
get
problem
that.
with social skills or whatever.
No, you're also from Long Island. Like,
Oh, that's a good point. We are more direct in New York.
yeah. I mean, I learned that like right away with people from New York, like Victoria, my bodybuilding coach. There are times when I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. Like, no, she's just direct.
I didn't even think of that.
Okay, let me stroke your ego a little bit. You do not need to like think that you needed to.
Anyway, so I had some
But yeah,
issues with them.
yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry. But I don't think that you're socially
You're welcome.
awkward.
Thank you. Sometimes I mean, I
We
don't
all
do
can
well.
be.
Yeah, I do well one-on-one usually. And this is another thing I related to in her book was like, if you're the one in charge, you're good. Like I'm fine if I'm like the leader or the
Facilitator
yeah,
and yeah.
facilitator, all that kind of stuff. And then on the other hand, if I'm being mentored or something, like, but with a sort of an equal
Mm.
power dynamic, it's harder, it's more awkward. And I'm okay with people one-on-one, but in groups, it's challenging. And at the gym, it's like hard to, sometimes I can't follow a conversation. It's just too loud, or I'm doing other things. It's hard
You
to
get really
focus.
focused. Yeah,
So
you
a
have a
lot of
hard
time,
time
yeah,
switching.
a lot
Mhm.
of times, people are kind of having a group conversation or something, and I'm just not there, you know?
You're like, I'm not deaf. I'm thinking about something else.
Or I try to follow, but I can't hear that well or something. I mean, I don't know.
I have to say, I didn't ever question my hearing. I
Mhm,
always thought it was great until I
mhm,
started going to my first box. I don't
mhm.
know if it's like the
Echo
space and how, right? The acoustics. And then if there's a fan going
and
and then there's
music
the
and
music.
yeah.
And if you get the wrong like pitch of a voice, I
Mhm,
can't hear it at all.
yeah,
So I'll often be like, I don't even know, like, what did they just say?
yeah.
What?
Like last night, I would have liked to have gone out with like a whole bunch of people, like 16 people went out to the
Oh,
Mexican
fun.
place, literally down the street from me. It's like 3 minutes from my house.
Hmm. Oh, is this the place where
And
you got $7 margaritas?
it is
2 for $7, I
two
mean,
for seven.
two
Yeah.
for seven.
Yeah. But I was I'd had it by that time, I was there like
Yeah.
talking to people and cheering a little cheering, like cheering.
Right. I don't
Just
do
for the
woos.
two people right in front of me, there were
Hmm.
like a few groups of people going down the gym. I never went to the other side and cheered, or I just like whoever would be right in front of me,
Hmm.
basically. Half of it was I was tapped out. The other half was I was literally just one of only two people at that point dressed like an old person, and I looked really ridiculous and also felt so
Oh.
uncomfortable by that time. So yeah, I was like, maybe next week, and maybe next week I'll just go like later to the gym and not be there for 2 hours or whatever
Yeah.
beforehand, and maybe
Yeah.
I'll go out after. Anyways.
Well, so there was a woman that was part of Pure Haven for a while that so many people did not like.
Mm,
She also had a PhD in biochem.
mm,
And I got along with her because I got her. Like,
yeah.
I know what it takes to get not that I know really what it takes to get a PhD in biochem, but
Mhm.
I have so many friends that have gotten PhDs. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. You are a select few that have like some crazy intense focus and like drive. That's a
Mm.
different human than like an everyday person, right? And people did not like her because she would be, I mean, she wasn't like you. She wasn't cute, fun.
I think most people generally like me.
Oh yeah.
I don't think a lot of people are
No,
like,
you're just making
yeah.
judgments about yourself.
No,
But
I
she
think
would,
you just did.
I know, shit,
No.
sorry. But people, they didn't get like all of this woman,
Yeah.
right? Like, no,
Yeah.
she's not just a Pure Haven person. Like, she has this like a background that y'all don't know anything about.
Mm.
Like she had to stand up and defend her dissertation in front of a bunch of like
Yeah,
dudes who
yeah.
wanted to pick it apart, right? Like that
Mhm.
takes some freaking cojones. So it doesn't surprise me that you might think that, just because it's, yeah, you have to have certain qualities to do some of the things that you've done, like write a book.
Mhm.
There's a reason that not everybody writes a book.
Mhm.
It takes a lot of dedication, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to do it.
Yes, you will.
I mean, excited that you found a book though that like helps you kind of like articulate and be like, oh, because I've had that too, where like,
Yes.
oh, I get that now. I get that about myself.
Yeah, it's weird just like looking back. I never had best friends, like growing up.
Mm.
I was kind of, yeah, I didn't have that many people I was close to, and I'm just like,
I was a single, like I'll
mm,
have a
yeah,
best friend.
well, that's
And
great.
then,
Yeah.
well, I don't know. Like,
Okay. I always wanted a best
right.
friend.
So, right. Grass is always greener. I had a best friend,
Mhm.
Corey. And
Yeah.
then unfortunately, I think I was mean to her and ditched her because I got my best
Oh,
friend, Katie.
oh, wow.
And then Katie moved. So
Yeah.
then I kind of had
Oh,
Julie.
okay.
I feel like I can actually point back to when things shifted a lot when Katie moved. And I was not helped through my emotions
Mhm.
at all. It was more like snap out of it.
Yeah. I feel like this podcast is veered far away from CrossFit. Yeah.
But I also think that like our personality types, like we're not going to find
We're not going to click with like typical people.
right. And I do
Yeah.
think that the CrossFit arena is full of people that wouldn't necessarily fit in elsewhere, just because,
Mhm.
again, there's that drive. I mean, how many people do I know that are 44 that like at least once a week try to do handstands?
Mhm.
Or sweat until they, or like work out until they need to lie down or lay down. Which one is it? I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Grammar is my worst. Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, I with the ADHD, it has been so helpful to do CrossFit. And I had a book recommended to me called You Mean I'm Not Lazy, Crazy, or Stupid?
Mm, yeah.
Oh, and reading that too, I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly how I think in my head.
Mm,
So there can be like the light and the dark side of it, right?
yeah.
Can use it as a force for good,
Mm.
or it can be a force of evil.
So on another,
Yeah, let's get into another topic.
so this one woman I was quietly cheering on, who was like right in front of me. She's freaking amazing.
Mm.
I don't know how far she got, but what was kind of funny, she just goes so hard, right? And she was just really, really good, like just powering through it all. And like she probably had almost no oxygen going to her brain because at the very end,
Oh, wow.
she did a burpee and she literally did not jump over the bar. She picked it up and deadlifted again. This was like the last few seconds. And like Mia was judging her and she like slapped the plates and she was yelling at her. And I was like, we were all trying to
Wow.
tell her to jump over the bar. Yeah. And so she ended up like not getting that burpee
Yeah.
counting and then actually doing a wasted deadlift too.
Oh, gosh. I'm so in awe of people who can push themselves that
I
hard.
know.
But I feel like I get to the point of like, I'm not seeing straight and I kind of like take my foot off the gas.
Right.
I don't just keep like
I
going.
know. I don't have that
So, right. I'm trying to
either.
like get to almost failure in some of my reps on like bodybuilding stuff. And
Mhm.
you're supposed to like be shaking and like,
I'm not good at being uncomfortable,
yeah,
like in any way.
I can be. So when you were talking about Nick, being sometimes like very, very chatty, and then, you can be over here at the gym. I feel like I can be more of a chameleon and I can change into the person who's like cheering for people.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah,
I
I
might
could
need to
too.
like go away and
Right.
hide for a little while.
Yeah.
The lady that put the playlist together and then people have been adding to it. I wrote her a note and put it in like her little cubby just because I don't know. I feel like the world is full of connections or whatever. And it's lacking in that authentic telling somebody like thank you or if something
Mm.
helped you or whatever. And I guess I got more aware of that when I was a teacher
Mhm.
and I knew I changed people's lives, but
Mm.
when they would come back or,
Mhm.
sometimes on Facebook, I'll get a little message.
Yeah.
But I wrote her a little card just saying, thanks for making that.
Mhm.
It just kind of helped me feel like somebody, like the whole gym made me a mixtape.
Mm.
And it was a distraction because
Mhm.
it's not all stuff I know. So I was being exposed to new music or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I was just going to say thanks, but I realized that our paths don't really cross at the gym very often. So I thought I'd DM you. Just like, I just heard you mention the playlist on your podcast. I'm like, we have
Oh,
another listener.
that's amazing.
And when I went in on Thursday, I went in, Brittany's like, oh my gosh, I was just listening to you talking on your podcast and here you walk in.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And she's like, I wish Annette would come to our gym.
Oh my gosh. You know what I realized? If I do or when I do come to your gym, I'm gonna be fucking floored by the altitude,
Yeah, we're going to do some like
right?
breath work before.
Oh.
We've actually talked about that. Does it count as a PR if you're not here and you PR somewhere else?
That's funny.
Oh, how is your below the knee fascia work going? Oh my gosh, have you forgotten?
I definitely forgot it yesterday. Forgotten it the day before. It's going terrible. It's been a kind of a stressful,
Yeah.
traumatic week.
My feet are definitely like they have adhesions in them or
Mm,
something. They're
mhm.
crunchy.
Okay.
Do you think they
Yeah.
ever get
Sorry,
uncrunchy?
I've been so bad with my
Yeah, it's okay.
thing. Okay, I'll get back to
You just apologize to your calves.
it. Yeah. Well, I worked my calves a lot the other day.
Do you feel that when it's open week, you don't really get as much of a workout on some of the days?
Yeah, so Wednesday he's making that day pretty easy, but
Mhm.
Monday and Tuesday we're going hard. Wednesday he's making it more strength and skill, and then Thursday I've been skipping.
I'm thinking that people must be skipping it here too.
Yeah, Trey doesn't like taper down on Thursday. Kind of Thursday he wants to get your central nervous system a bit back up, it seems like,
Mhm.
which I hadn't heard of that philosophy. I thought more like you taper more as you get towards the end.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I know.
I
I wonder
mean,
if that's like diet relativity. Like you can find uh evidence for
yeah,
whatever.
for her everything. I know.
Yeah.
I know, like my friend works at the stretch zone.
Oh yeah, you said
And
that before.
yeah, and so she was saying basically there are so many different theories of stretch and like what works
Interesting.
because they do sort of a lot of stretches that's just like, you go to the range and just hold it for 2 seconds and then, keep going back
Mhm.
in and out.
Okay.
Whereas, sometimes Trey is like, it's not gonna do anything and if you don't do it for at least 2 minutes. Like it takes
Right.
2 minutes for your I guess
To
your
finally like relax and
sympathetic, yeah, system and
yeah.
just shift over and relax. Yeah. So it's
And then there's the thing about, oh gosh, I'm not going to remember the word for it right now, but where you're not just like sitting in a stretch, where there's something where there's more movement in it.
yeah, that's probably what they're doing at the stretch zone. And we
And
do
that
that
you need to
too.
do that before
Yeah.
the workout
Okay,
because
that's what we're doing before the
yeah.
workout.
And
Yes.
I wish I could think of the word for it right now,
I
but
know.
it's
I
not
don't
just like
remember.
holding,
Dynamic
yes,
stretching?
that's,
Okay,
yeah,
versus
good job.
static. Mm,
It's not just a static, you stand there
mm,
and stretch something,
right.
right? It's the
Yeah, you're
like
going
kind of
in and
warming
out.
up and getting
Mm-hmm.
things moving
Mm-hmm.
instead of
That's
while
what
you're
I,
also opening.
that's what I do in the morning when I do like after meditation, I do my like little mini hip spin up. I do like the kind, so one leg is like back and one leg is forward, the other leg is back, and I'm kind of like leaning side to side into my
Mm,
hips.
mm-hmm.
And then I'll do like a twist. And then I've added this month, I've added 3 arm circles in the twist.
Oh, nice.
And then I come back to normal and then I rock back to get kind of like my hamstrings. I'll go back and forth, putting my hips back to my
Mm-hmm.
over my heels, I guess, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a nice, I mean, that's probably helped me a lot. I've been really consistent with that since the beginning of the
Nice.
year.
One of the ones I really like to do is you sit on the floor. Uh, is it like a Z sit? So,
Mm.
right leg is kind of in front, and then your left leg is kind of in back.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then,
Like we used to call that the swastika
yes, I mean, I could
dance.
see why.
Yeah.
And you can do, you could just lean back and like rotate the knees.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Hmm.
then you can like rotate and then put your hand down and like reach up and like, oh, it
Hmm.
feels so good.
Hmm.
I like those. So, what is your plan to practice those damn double unders this week? Because we know we're going to
Hmm.
see it on Friday.
Hmm.
Mm.
Most likely.
Are you going to practice daily?
Not daily. Yeah. I'm just gonna bring my rope. And, if we don't have them scheduled, I'll do some probably before or after
Mm-hmm.
the gym, once or twice maybe. At this point it's like I don't know how much better or how, I mean,
Right.
I don't think they are certainly not going to be, it's not going to be like a couplet of double under and
Right.
something else. I think there's going to be more to it. So I think I'll be okay. I mean, I can do a bunch in a row now, sort of. So I'll
Yeah.
be okay.
I
Just
know.
gonna.
I can't, it's not like a test I can just cram for.
Hmm. And it's not like, see, like it's not like the outcome matters for anything either. I have to
Right.
say, like,
And
yeah,
I was just thinking, like, well, we'll be better at them next year.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I was, a week ago, I was in the position of, oh shit, I can't do these at all anymore. I have
Yeah.
to do something about that. And so, like I told you, I had that session, and then the next day we did them also. And so, and they were about as good as, what I ended up with on the other time. And so,
Hmm.
or even, I mean, the first time I did them, I did like 9 in a row. So then of course they went down from being tired or from whatever. But I don't know. I'll practice them a little more. But it's hard to, with everything else going on in in your life, it's just
Yeah.
hard to like make it feel like it's important for anything. You know what I mean? So
Well, and if I do put so much importance on it, what am I trying to get away from in my life?
good point. Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
uh that's a balance that is sometimes a tightrope.
Yeah.
I've definitely that is I don't remember if we've talked about that. Like that's ADHD, like you can get hyper focused and
Hmm.
I think I use hyper focus on certain things to avoid other things.
Do you want to hear about my self-defense class?
Yes,
What
I
we almost
do.
started with and realized we weren't recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was
So is he certified or did he bring in a certified person?
I don't know what his background is as far as this goes. But he seems to know what he's doing and talking about. Yeah, so we did a bunch of things, and what I concluded though was my best bets are going to be like kick in the groin and run away. Probably
Yeah.
is my best option. But we practiced, some like punches and stuff like that. And the thing I was best at though was like in case you're like against a wall and somebody's got their hands choking you, what do you
Mhm.
do? And it's like basically you put one arm up and one arm down, and then you lower your shoulder and twist and get their arms out of the way that way. It
Mm.
was kind of
If your
cool.
arms are free.
Yes, but they will be if he has both hands on your throat,
Unless
if
you're
there's
like
just
chained
one
up or
person.
something.
Well,
Why did I
but
think about
yeah,
that?
I don't know. That's like that's that's kind of unusual. I mean, or like, yeah.
I've watched too many like things.
Like, yeah, they chain you up just to choke you. Like, yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't even know.
I don't know. So anyway, this got dark really quick. But that's what the self-defense, I guess. Yeah, but it was interesting.
Mhm.
I think, I think my best strategy is to continue doing what I have been, which is just counting on that this is a remote possibility that I'm ever going to get attacked.
Yeah.
And actually the practice, I wasn't great with the practice because like just holding the ball that someone was doing punches at,
Mhm.
and even punching by myself, like it hurts my head. Like the impact just
Mm.
goes right to my head and stuff. So he was like, "Oh, are you exhaling?" Maybe I was holding my breath, but anyway, it was interesting.
Oh, I bet it was really interesting.
Yeah, it was cool. But obviously, in order to kind of do these things when you need them, you do have to practice more.
Yeah. It has to become like second nature of like, that's
Yeah.
what you would just do.
So I don't think we'll be doing that enough for it to be second nature. And I'm certainly not,
Gonna go take
practice.
classes.
No, like it's just not something I'm scared of. And I think I don't have myself in situations very often where this would be a danger.
Yeah. Oh no, I'd be a chicken. Like,
Mm,
I mean, plus like on one impact, like I don't, when you see people in movies like take a punch, like, yeah,
mhm.
most people would be knocked out by now. Like,
Yeah.
it's not very realistic to think that you'd
Yeah.
be like fighting back, I think. I'm not saying
Yeah, I
you
don't know.
personally.
I mean, I learned a bunch of stuff. Like you're going for basically, the chin and the jaw area mostly.
Okay.
And when you're going for hard places like that, you use your
The palm of
hand,
your,
the
okay.
palm of your hand to make the impact. But if you're, going for a softer part, you would be using your fist.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting
Yeah.
and useful, potentially. Hopefully
Yeah. I
not.
would definitely run away. I would
Yeah, if you can run away.
scream and run away.
Yeah, scream. Right, right. He was like, when you're doing this like fighting, you can be yelling stuff because that makes sure you're breathing and all
Yeah. Oh,
that
that's a good
too.
point.
Mhm.
So, one of my friends, her husband is a former police officer and he was the head of the SWAT team and
Mhm.
did a lot of gun stuff. And she took the concealed carry class,
Mhm.
and it took her years to like finally file the paperwork because she realized that if I have this, then it's this responsibility of if somebody else is in trouble, like I'm supposed to
Yeah.
be, and I have to be
Wow.
willing to take someone's life.
Right.
And I mean, I know I don't want to get hurt, but I
Mhm.
don't know if I have that fight back ability in my
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
it's not a natural thing to like think I'm gonna go hurt someone.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not saying that like fighting is the same thing, but it's a
Hmm.
very just even like think like, if I got attacked, would I just be
Hmm.
so surprised and like
Hmm.
I wouldn't know what to do,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're right. Like you'd have to do so much practice in order to be
Hmm.
able to like
Yeah.
turn that on.
Yep.
That's just, it's an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah.
We live very amazing lives.
Yes.
So,
We do.
right? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The most dangerous thing I do every day is probably turn left in my vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh, one more question.
Mhm.
Annette, how do you fuel up before an open workout?
Oh, same thing. I just stick to my routine. I have oatmeal usually
Mm,
that morning,
mhm,
an hour and a half before, and then I drink my BCAAs
mhm. Do you,
before, right before.
so I've now had the one you recommended, the
Mm,
watermelon one,
mhm.
and the honey badger one, which is a lime. Am I supposed to feel like energy from that?
I don't know. I don't know that I notice a difference, but I haven't, it's been a while since I've done a workout without drinking it. So
Oh,
I don't know,
okay.
but Nick, the first time he tried it, he was like, whoa, I'm thinking so clearly and I have so much energy.
Oh, wow. So
So
he's just very sensitive system as well.
maybe.
Does he drink coffee?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
And tea? So he's like caffeinated
He's
sometimes.
caffeinated. Yeah, he has his coffee first thing in the morning. He's got a big mug of regular coffee, and then after lunch, he'll usually have a half calf
Okay.
around 2.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's not, he's like, an Ayurveda, he's like more of a kapha, like a really grounded
Hmm.
kind of person, like that caffeine actually is good for,
Hmm.
or decent for. But I'm like that vata, like nervous, anxious, light, like,
Hmm.
fast energy kind of,
Yeah.
like I need that nurturing, grounding stuff.
Yeah. I remember when I first started working with an Ayurvedic person, and she was like, I want you to now have a piece of bread in the morning with some ghee on it and some jam. And
Mm.
I remember my students being like, you're not talking as fast.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. Because I wasn't just caffeinated with a green smoothie. I wasn't
Right.
just all air.
Yeah, that makes
So I'm going to
sense.
guess that flying isn't super great for you, because flying for
Right.
me is, oh,
Yeah. All right. Well, let's not be too scared about 23.3.
nope. We're just going to take it as it
22,
is.
sorry, 22.3.
22.3.
And
We're going to take it as it is. And
remember,
remember,
friends
friends
help
help
friends
friends
stay
stay fit.
fit.